Hi there, Dr. Onalee here, host of Coming Home. It is my intention to fully help you recover from narcissistic relationships, start to learn how to love yourself, start to prepare for your soulmate, all the things. As you can see here, if you're watching the video, it is about to be fall over here, and I am starting early. I am an early decorator. I don't care. This is just how I am. I will say one year, though, it was a little too early. I decorated for Christmas October 29th. I really jumped the gun on that one. And my friends just always joke and know, like, decorating, that is my thing. So that is what is happening here. Probably going to do it tomorrow or the next day. But I want to get on here because there's something that's been showing up with a lot of my private one to one clients. And one of my good friends that I've been friends with forever, she's going through the dating process right now. She was in a really long term relationship, very long time. So she has not been out there in the game. And so I am supporting her. Perfect friend for her to have. Dating expert here, love and relationship expert. But what is happening is we need to have a conversation about divine interruptions. We need to have a conversation of, oh my gosh. You know what? Let me just sidetrack this for a second. I've been in this coaching industry for 8 years now, and I'm actually about to on Monday be recording a podcast about the coaching industry with one of my good friends, Sam Altieri. And if you haven't known, somebody too big in the coaching industry is just completely shutting down her business. Oh my God. It's just why? Why do we make things so hard? I think a lot of us have been trying to make things so polished and so perfect. If you've been following me for a while too, you know my emails have typos. I'm a doctor and my emails have typos. I do this podcast. I don't have an intro for this. I don't have a fancy recording. I don't have anybody editing it. Like, I just have a message to share and I get it out there. And I think part of me doing this very messy and very imperfect is to show you that if you have a message, you have a voice, you have a platform, you can share. We don't need to take life so seriously. One of my clients, a private client I absolutely love, one of the themes for our call was that death is a part of the process. We are going to die, my friend. Sounds a little bit morbid, but I think a lot of us, one of the reasons why we're not in the present moment and why we keep distracting ourselves with narcissistic, unhealthy, unfulfilling, miserable relationships and drugs and alcohol and all of these things is because the present moment can feel scary. It can feel like I'm going to get eaten at any time or something bad is going to happen or come across my path. And so we distract ourselves. But the real joy is when you can come home to yourself, be in the present moment, be okay, and the acceptance that death is a natural part of the process. My point here and why we are getting sidetracked from this topic is to just not take it so freaking seriously. Like, ease up. According to whose rules? Whose criteria? I know for me, there was a phase like where I felt like I couldn't fully do my business or create content or post things because I needed to be more polished or other experts need to do it something. And you're going to see from this show, we're throwing that out the freaking window. Like, let's let it be easier. I think too, I have a vision even of supporting stay-at-home mothers who want to teach on something or teach on being a stay-at-home mother, charge $99, have a group of 100 people. There's, what is that? 100, you do the math. It doesn't need to be crazy. So, this is a very laxed, very non-professional episode and I think they're probably going to be this way for the most part. But here's the thing. I'm a woman too. I'm a multifaceted woman. I could change my mind at any time. That's the beauty of it. My intention with creating this podcast is for you to unleash, for you to be free, for you to be at home within yourself. And I want you to see examples of not taking life so seriously. And you can still be wildly successful, wildly happy, wildly in love, wildly abundant. Now, let's get back into what we're talking about here. Divine interruptions. I've had a few instances in my dating life where the day before the person was going to ask me to be their girlfriend, something came out of the woodwork. I remember one time he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. And it was somebody that I knew for a really long time. We were friends for a while. And then we eventually it turned romantic and he was going to make it official with me. The day before he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend, at text messages came in from a girl that he was talking to in between. Me and him were kind of talking. We weren't official. Cut it off. He went and talked to somebody else. That was totally fine with me. But then he came back, tried to work it out. I thought it was fine. I didn't even know if he dated anyone in between. I really didn't care. But this woman cared. And she emailed me, like my business email, and she sent me these messages, these screenshots of him just talking shit about me, calling me a narcissist, saying all of these things and just like really mean things. And you can't unsee that when you see that. That was my red flag that God gave me that I chose to ignore. We talked about it. He shared, he was like, no, I actually was completely wrong. It was the complete opposite thing. I figured that out later. I realized, yada, 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 yada. And so the next day, I went on this date with him and I said yes to being his girlfriend. But how good does it feel to say yes to being somebody's girlfriend when you just saw these messages of them completely trash talking you? Another time, a guy was going to ask me to be his girlfriend that night. I was even going to post him on social media, and I hadn't at this point posted any guy on social media in 5 years. I was going to post him on my social media. That morning, where he was going to take me to dinner and we were going to make it official, I found out he was still living with his freaking ex girlfriend. They weren't dating at this point. Like they actually were friends. They're still friends to this day. But he had lied to me. He told me he lived alone. And then I find out he lives in a studio apartment with this girl who's very upset that he is dating me because she found a letter from me in his backpack. And I didn't know about this. I had no idea. And I didn't with that one end up being his girlfriend. But my point here is that when it's not the right relationship, the red flags are never going to run out. The warning signs are there. I guarantee even if you go to the first date or even before the first date with somebody where it didn't work out or the narcissist or avoidant you're thinking about right now, the red flags were there. I promise you the red flags are always there. Wrong relationship, remember this. Wrong relationship, red flag is never going to run out. I have some clients who the red flags were there. The person cheated, they left, treated them like an option. My client was trying to move on. The person comes back, begs for them back. 10 years later, the reason why they're getting a divorce is the same reason that 10 years prior they tried to leave or not be with this person. It doesn't get better with time. Just like any addiction, it doesn't get better with time, it gets worse. But if it's the wrong relationship, you're going to keep having consequences. You're going to have pain. You're going to have misery. For me, how I know I'm in the wrong relationship is if I have this unrest and I'm constantly feeling like I need to question, are they the one? Are they the one? Are they the one? Are they the one? How do I know? How do I know? Think about a time where you've been in love or really happy, even if it was high school. Were you needing to question all the time, are they the one? Should I do this? Da, 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 da. You were just in love and you were just happy. That is how relationships are supposed to feel. And I think we have a lot of propaganda that really shares marriage takes work and sacrifice and all of this. And I think that's really caused a lot of damage in our relationships because it has us gaslight ourselves. It has us continuously give people the benefit of the doubt. We're in a society where cheating seems to be okay. You forgive your partner, you keep being with this part. I don't know. Maybe I have judgment on it. I don't know what it is, but I don't think I would want to be with somebody who has a character of being sneaky and dishonest and betraying. Why would I? I don't know. It's going to offend some people. I know some of you stay with cheating, and there are some people who there's like a lot on the social media these days of like staying with the person after that. So I don't know, but I think maybe I do need to be a voice of this and have a conversation. Like, think about the Coldplay thing, right? Like, at the time of this recording, that's kind of a popular thing going on. The billionaire gets caught cheating on the Jumbotron with an employee of his. The wife immediately took her last name off of Facebook. She would look like a complete fool or a complete idiot to stay with this man, right? Even though he was just holding a woman at the Coldplay concert. They didn't even kiss or anything on the Jumbotron. And yet everybody knows, like, you should leave your husband. But that is what a lot of people do. Like, that's what your husband looks like when he's out cheating. That's what your wife looks like when she's out cheating. But yet they come back to you and you forgive them and you talk it out and you go to therapy. And I know that this is very controversial, maybe a heavy topic, but I feel like I got to say it. Like, somebody's got to say it. Like, that's what it looks like. Like, it looks stupid to like, why should the wife take him back after he was just doing that? So sit with that, do with that whatever you want to. But my point here is that there's always divine interruption. Like, look, karma showed itself in that situation. The light comes out, the truth comes to the surface. You won't run out of red flags. You won't run out of pain. You won't run out of misery. You won't run out when it's the wrong relationship. You're going to keep having signs. You're going to have experiences. So if you're right now like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, just trust me. The red flags, if it's not the right relationship, are going to keep showing up. Another friend, she was going to sleep with somebody and the guy wasn't that interested in her. Like you could just tell he wasn't pursuing her, but she was almost really pursuing him, really wanting to hook up with him, all this stuff. She got her cycle 5 days early. The day that she was going to be with this person. And she can't understand it. She doesn't get it. And I can see it so clearly. I'm like, this is divine interruption to support you. But a lot of times we don't look at it that way. We look at it as, oh my God, why is this happening? I can't believe this. And we try to force, we try to manipulate, we try to change, we get upset. We're thinking God's cursing us when in reality, God's protecting us. Our higher power is always speaking to us. If I take an inventory, which is what I have you do in the second step of the No More Narcissist program, when I take an inventory of my past relationships, I will see common denominators of how God showed me red flags and I justified it. I rationalized it. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I thought it would get better. I would talk myself out of it or I'd talk myself into it. I played a part. And when you can see that you're playing a part in these relationship patterns, that's how you're going to break them. That's how you're no longer going to be attracted to narcissists, to dishonest people, to people who blame you and don't take any accountability and who you are miserable with. That won't show up in your field when you take a look at your wounds, you take a look at your pattern, you take a look at your part, and you actually start to heal it. And if that's where you're at on your journey and you want to go through the actual 4-step process, I invite you into the No More Narcissist program. Today, in this recording too, I just put out an option where you can go through the steps one-to-one with me. There is an option to do it with a month where you get the in-between text support. But there's also now an option where it's the 4 calls plus the 4 steps. I wanted to make it really affordable and really accessible for you. And so I'm going to put that in the link below. But if you have any questions, you want any support around this, you're ready to be done with narcissists, I invite you to stick around. Let's stay for the show. Let's have some fun. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it easy. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And then shoot me a message on Instagram at Dr.Onalee and make sure to subscribe to the show, like this episode, share it with your friends, do with it what you want. But I'm here to get this message out. I'm here to help you be an empowered empath. An empowered empath is not going to fall or stay with a narcissist. And that's where your love, your light, your peace, your joy, your radiance, your expression, you might be able to feel it right now because you're an empath, so you can feel energy. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get brighter, but only when you let go of narcissists in your life. And that's my intention for being here. So would love to do some work with you. And if you have anything else that you need, just come on over to Instagram at Dr. Onalee. Have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon.